ask a question, and I'm sure I know the answer, so it's more a rhetorical question. It is, do you like living paycheck to paycheck? And the answer in that circumstance, I've always heard, is no. I know had been there. I was there for many, 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 many years, more than I wish to remember. But it's decades that I can say where it was like that for me, living paycheck to paycheck. It was horrendous. It was horrible. And I'm just going to go over this not to say, hey, someone's better than another person, I'm better than you, I'm worse than you, no comparisons here. I just want to try to help people understand if they are tired of that situation, if they're stuck in that, or they know someone who is, there are ways to, I think it's just a mindset is how it starts, first of all. But I'm going to go over a few things, and maybe that'll, get some people thinking for the betterment, I guess. So just think of what are your options if you lose your job, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck from the job that you get. What are your options if you lose your job? If you lose your job, you're like, okay, I got it. I know I've got this saved up, which if it's saved up, you're really not living paycheck to paycheck. Really, like some other people are. But I'll digress on that. So do you have something saved up? Do you have another job opportunity in line? It's like, if I lose this, I know I can go here. Or I know this friend of mine or this relative or this company said, hey, we'd like you to come work for us. And you said, nah, I'm not ready at the moment. They say if you ever get around to it, come look us up or whatever. There are circumstances, situations like that, which are great. But my question is, what are your options? Do you have any plans? And if you don't, why? Don't you think you should? That could be assets. Do you have, whether it's your precious metals, gold, silver, do you have land that you've accumulated over the years? Do you have anything that holds a good amount of value that other people want, that always seems to be in demand? Whatever. Are you really good? Can you fix automobiles? Can you do construction? Can you fix household things? Are you good electrician? Plumbing stuff, that kind of stuff. Can you, at the drop of a hat, say, I lost my job doing this, I can turn around and do these things for now to suffice, to get me by until I figure it out. Just getting people thinking, what do you have options? Do you have plans? Plan B, plan C? You don't want to do them, but you have that just in case. So I just want to tell a story about mindset of people and that kind of stuff. Well, back, Jesus is probably, 15 years ago or so. I was working where I was working at, that kind of stuff. And I was a company man, you call it, a businessman. You go into the office, you work in the office. I was an art director, that kind of stuff. So marketing. But I remember we'd get bonuses and year bonuses and year-end bonuses, and it wasn't all the same. It was just treated as, as far as performance, that kind of stuff. But also there was holiday bonuses, Christmas bonuses, whatever, or year-end bonuses. They mixed the two together there, and that depended on how good the company did. Reflected how good the company was, and then everyone got the same amount for those bonuses, which is fine. I'm not here to talk about that, but I remember one circumstance, and the bonus, I don't remember off the top of my head. I know they were pretty generous at times, that the company did great. I want to say the bonus was, for company round, everyone got $600. All right? I'm just going to throw that out there. That could be not correct, but it was right around there. And so that was $600. And then I remember my mindset was, okay, $600. And I was still at the area there where I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck as bad as I was 5 years prior to that, but I was still living paycheck to paycheck. But I had a mindset of, okay, well, I got to get out of this. And I'd had it for a few years. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And I started to change what I was doing, how, things I was buying, things I was purchasing, and the entertainment, if you want to call it that, the movies, the going out to eat, all the extra stuff that myself and my family had been doing, we had started tapering off of that, slowing down on that and changing things here and there. So I wasn't quite there, but my mindset was getting there. So it's like, all right, well, what I got to do with this is I got to do X, Y, Z. That way, I'll have this, or I'll have, these assets or this thing, then, I can continue, and that's my starting for my next growth, for whether it was savings or an asset or whatever it was. I forget what it was 15 years ago, but that's a start. That's a foundation to go from on this deal. All right, so that was my mindset, was this $600, I'm not spending it. I'm not blowing it. I'm not doing whatever. I am trying to, I say invest, I'll say that, lightly, because I want to make it, hard, a hard asset or a hard thing there, whether it was paying off bills, paying off, credit cards, whatever it was. I just had this, I got to do this with it. That's a good deal. So that was no, going out, spending it, having a good time, partying, having fun. I didn't have that mindset anymore, which I did years prior. But I was talking to someone at, the same company, and I remember he said, okay, great, this is gonna get me this, and that, and then I can put this towards something new for their house. And I was like, I didn't say anything, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, you already have your money spent. And not only spent, but blown before you even got it. And then I thought, well, that was sort of what I had done decades prior or years prior. You say you're going to get something, you're set on getting something, some sort of, funds, some currency, whatever, some dollars. Then you're like, okay, what I can do with this is I can do this. And it's not, what I can do with this is I can invest it. What I can do with this is I can buy this asset. What I can do with this is pay down this whatever it was that you had for a debt. It was, how can I blow it without saying that? How can I blow it on fun, or how can I blow it on something that I've been wanting real bad? Okay, you've been wanting real bad, and so now I can go get it. But then I sat back and was like, when I started to change, my attitude was changing. It was like, well, but is it going to have any value to it? Is it going to really better my life? And throughout that whole time period, that's when I'd said, my attitude started changing. Then years later, I got to the 10-10-10. How is it going to affect my life 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years from now? Is this what I want to do? Is this what I should do? Is it going to better my situation? Is it going to make it worse? And then decide from there. This is the 10-10-10 that I've just always looked upon nowadays. But anyways, so that was just a little story I had there. So having money spent before you actually are holding on to it or get it, and not just spent, blowing. Having it spent by paying down stuff or eyes on investment or assets, that's a different thing. Having it blowing before you have it, that's a different ballgame. That is part of the recipe for living paycheck to paycheck. So it's all about changing your focus, changing what you want to do. Yes, if you're in a deep hole, it's horrible. It's like, I got to get out of this thing, but it's so much work, and I got this huge task in front of me, and it's going to be so long before I get there. But it's not going to happen unless you start. You got to start. Starting is not beautiful. Starting is not rewarding, really. The start is nothing but work, agony at times. It sucks. Other people are having fun. Other people are all doing this and that, want you to come along, or you want to join in, and you choose not to because you've got your mindset here. I want to get away from these handcuffs, these chains. It's called living paycheck to paycheck. So it's all about what is important to you, really. Is that new car important to you? Is, this new thing for you outside your exterior of your home? I mean, is that best for you? Is that what you really want? Something that's not going to hold any value, but it's going to make it look pretty, make it look nice, not because you're going to sell it, just because you want to be more, satisfactory when you walk home and you see your home. Stuff like that. Or buying this and that, buying the latest gadget, the latest electronic, whatever. So I just going to go over this, and like I said, I'm not comparing anyone to anyone. I just want to go through this stuff of what I no longer do or what I do not do. Whether I had done it in the past or not, I haven't done these things for years, and I really think this adds on to that, paycheck to paycheck. Adds on to that, just money just going away, wasting money like that. So it's like, I'll just start, let's go to the list. I do not smoke or chew tobacco. Neither does the rest of my family. I did smoke. I did smoke until March of the year 2020. Or excuse me, March of the year 2000. So over 22 years ago, I quit. Back then I was paying, I think the most I was paying for a pack of cigarettes was $2.12 after tax. It was $2.12 after tax for a pack of cigarettes back in 2000 when I quit. Nowadays with the prices, I don't even know. I know people in my extended family smoke, and I want to say it's upwards of $10 a pack is what I hear. I can't say I wouldn't be able to afford to smoke, but I mentally, my mentality would not allow me to, because that's ridiculous. Talk about wasting. And I know you got people like my father's one of them, and some other people. It's like, well, I'm not addicted. I enjoy it. So I choose to smoke, and I'll pay whatever it costs. Well, then on the other hand, people gripe and complain about living paycheck to paycheck and not having money. Well, when they're blowing their money like that, just blowing it, and no pun intended, but just blowing it, on cigarettes and that kind of stuff, well, you got to sort of look what you're doing. You can't complain about something, but what you're doing is adding to it all the time and making it worse, but yet you continue to complain about it. Doesn't make sense. Coffee. I do not buy or drink any coffee. I really never have. Back in the day, probably 20 some years ago, I would have some ice cold frappuccinos. That's about it. Extent of it, I don't do that anymore. If I did, there's nothing against it. I would only be buying coffee, the big cans of Folgers or whatever brand you want to talk about, and be doing it myself, brewing it myself, bringing it to wherever I got to go. If I'm traveling to work, I'm commuting, or I'm running for a meeting, or I'm running to meet someone, coffee cups are a dime a dozen. You can get them everywhere and anywhere. You can get them from Goodwill for cheap. People have stuff they don't use, they just want to get rid of in their cupboards. You can probably get one for free, travel mug, and that's gonna save you tons of money. Doesn't taste probably as good, but you know what? That paycheck to paycheck thing that you hate, well, it sort of adds to it. Satellite cable, that kind of stuff, television service, anything like that, cut off years and years and years ago. Probably over 25 years ago, maybe. And I know now we've had Sling, so yeah, it still costs some money. Not promoting that by any means, or one of those other services, but $30 or $40 is a lot cheaper than $150 a month. And on that note, we're going to end Sling here real soon. Prior to that, we had nothing for years. We had antenna TV. So you'd get the 3 or 4 channels that would come in, through the antenna, and that's what we had. But the fact is, over the years, 10 years, 15 years, we don't really watch TV. The TV's never, ever, ever on. And like I've said before, the only time the TV goes on is at night. Before bed, I'm laying in bed, and my wife can fall asleep right away. I just use that for my dumb downtime. I call it the idiot box. I know it's been called the idiot box for years, because just watching that dumbs me down, and I can just fall asleep. If I don't do that, my brain is racing 100 million miles an hour. what I have to do, what I did, what should be done, what I can accomplish, what I should be doing here, what I've done here, whatever it is. My brain just races. So that's my dumb down time. Other than that, I've said this in the past, maybe once every 6 weeks, 2 months, maybe once every 3 months, the family will watch a movie, on the DVD player or whatever. Or my brother's streaming service that he told me I could watch a movie from that he got. That's it. So, and then, so purchasing sodas, pop, if you want to call them pop, those, I maybe have one every 2 months, something like that. Not much at all. And it's just, I used to drink that years ago, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I always was drinking that. And I sort of swapped that, traded that for waters, and I just pound the waters nowadays. And I don't have that urge, that want for soda and pop anymore. But I do know the rest of the family really doesn't drink it that often either, comparing it to, I guess, society's norm. And I think that's a huge money saver also. Energy drinks too. I don't do the energy drinks, but no one in my family does. And from what I have heard in the past, is they're not cheap. They're more expensive than a soda or whatever. Let alone that I just consider them liquid poison. That's basically all they are. They deplete vitamins in your system. They add garbage and junk to your system. I believe they, will harm you more than anything. And they're not a replacement for water at all. If anything, they're anti-water because they dehydrate you even more, and deplete your vitamins, like I said. So that's a savings there. Not even buying that stuff. We do not purchase lottery tickets, scratch-offs, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you buy one ticket, maybe you'll be that, winner of millions and millions of dollars. Well, if you keep buying that one ticket every day or every other day or this and that, year over year or year over year, that stuff does add it up. It's not like you're going to be saving a ton by not spending, but you know what? It adds up. Would you rather have spent $15 on scratch-offs or lottery tickets, or put that towards something else? Maybe if you're average, you go to the casino, you $40 a month, $50 a month. Well, you do it because it's entertainment and you enjoy it. All right, well, if you want to spend that much on entertainment, you want to spend $50 on entertainment a month, I can afford it and I don't live paycheck to paycheck, well, that's your prerogative. But if you are living paycheck to paycheck and you still want to complain about that, but you still want to spend $50 a month on entertainment, that's just giving money to a casino, that's all it is, well, maybe you want to look at that. Same goes, with the scratch-offs and the pull tabs at bars, even going to bars. That's a whole other thing in itself. It's like the coffee thing. If you want to drink alcohol, I want to do that, there's liquor stores. You bring the stuff home, it's way cheaper. And then if you have the food and you make food yourselves at home, it's way cheaper. And that's how it all starts, And on that note, we always eat leftovers until the leftovers are gone. That's that simple. Is it you eat the same thing for 2 or 3 days in a row and it gets boring? Well, maybe so, but you know what? It was cheap. It's doing its job. And once this is gone, I'll get something else to eat. I'll have something else to eat. But I'm not going to go out and spend all this money and waste all this food when there's stuff right there. I think that's part of the mentality change. Changing your mentality. If you have once, every 6 months, once every 4 months, you're like, all right, I'm just not going to eat these leftovers anymore. I've eaten them for 2 or 3 days in a row. I'm just not. Well, all right, you got it. It's understandable. Once every 4 months is nothing. All right. But if you're doing that all the time and just not eating leftovers, that stuff all adds up, and people don't understand how fast it is to go broke, how fast it happens to go back to paycheck. You know, I'm just saying this stuff. I'm not saying this stuff to make people feel bad. I'm not saying this stuff to say, hey, well, this person's better than this person, whatever. I get it. I understand. I was there. I was there for many years, decades. And I put myself there, and I kept myself there until I changed my mind, my attitude, and my focus. And the whole family. Then things turned around. It didn't turn around on a dime. Like I said, there was some pain. There's pain with all growth. You know, ask any weightlifter who wants to build muscle. Was it pain-free? Was it easy? Absolutely not. But he's glad of the results, and he's happy with where he's at, and he didn't mind going through all that stuff to get there. That's the mentality change. That's the mindset change. If you got anything from this, that's great. And I wish you best. And I hope things do change if you're stuck in a situation. If they don't, look at why. What's going on? What am I doing different than this other person here is doing different, and they don't seem to have these same problems? They seem to not struggle as hard. I just do that, emulate that, you know, that kind of stuff. And there are bad people to follow, bad people to get behind. It's something you gotta do a touch and go. You gotta feel it out and see what's right, what's working best for you. But it's all about you. No one's gonna do it for you. No one's gonna do it for your family other than you and your family. You guys are the best. You're best equipped, and you got the best want and the best desires and the biggest desires to do it. So you're gonna get the best results once you set your mind to it. But anyways, thank you for watching. If you like this, hit the like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, stay vigilant. Protect yourself, your family, protect your health.